Hey, it's me, Ubi told me, the guys with the 5 eyes that you see. And I'm gonna shoot you guys a quick freestyle now because I'm working on my Assassin's Creed video as we speak, bringing it together and everything like that. But I gotta come out with some content just to mend the bridge a little bit. I don't know, I'm working on my metaphors. But what I wanted to talk about you guys today is how you can't really let your feelings and your racial superiority, racial superiority complex get the best of you.
Watch where you walking, bitch.
What did you... Wait a minute. I'm white.
Because the thing about this whole thing with Yasuke and Assassin's Creed is really crazy to me, right? Because see, the thing about Assassin's Creed is that it was a series that was never based in reality. It's a science fiction, right? So that means that because it's fiction, it's not really real. It has real elements, but the sci-fi part of it basically denotes that the science just, it just blows out everything that could be real and just makes it a fantasy to a certain fault, right? And everybody is so mad about Yasuke being in the game because he's black. Why? Because he's black. And it's crazy because this game is actually exposing the racism out of gamers. See, a lot of gamers, even people who aren't gamers, they're trying to be like, oh, this is DEI and everything like that, but they don't really understand that they're trying so hard to fight the message that they don't understand that they also have a message themselves. See, because everybody keeps thinking that it's only Hollywood and only the entertainment industry that's the problem here, but no, it's not. It's actually a lot of the American citizens, because guess what? This country has had years of white supremacy is the country. There again, we could bring up Native Americans. They used to be here, came through, wiped them out. A lot of West Africans and other Africans of other places, they came here through slavery, and then they integrated into the land. After slavery was over, Jim Crow, and then after Jim Crow, the fight for civil rights. After the fight for civil rights, a lot of breaking of civil rights. So this country really has been predicated off the feelings of what white people feel like doing to other groups today, right? God damn. So it's kind of crazy that people feel this way over Yasuke because he was a real historical figure, and in Assassin's Creed, historical figures do things that are loosely associated to what they did, but because it's fantasy, they do other things. So like in Assassin's Creed 2, Leonardo da Vinci actually makes a flying device for Ezio. So if you're mad about Yasuke just being a black character you play as who may or may not have been a samurai, why are you not mad that Leonardo da Vinci has a literal flying wingsuit that Ezio can use? So, but see, that's just one part of it, because that's the obvious part. We all know these motherfuckers are crazy. We know these dudes have no lives, and we know these guys, quite frankly, they don't even need a woman. They need a purpose in life, because the way the world is right now, man, we gotta stop looking at each other racially at this point. We're all fucking human. Actually, no, we're not all human, and that, I think that's the hard part that a lot of people have with dealing with, that we're all not 100% human at this point, unless you're like straight up Aboriginal or straight up somewhere deep in Nubia, Africa, right?
Look at that. Oh, love, you see that nigga flip from tree to tree like on some old Tarzan shit.
But there are people coming onto the comment boards of the Ubisoft page, and they are faking being Japanese to complain about Yasuke. So let's look at some of these here, transferred to English. The buildings, behavior of people, blah blah blah, the behavior of samurai, everything is wrong. It's not Japan, and Yasuke isn't a samurai. Don't joke around too much. Too humiliating as a Japanese person. And I mean, the only thing that can indicate that maybe is the username Asusho1283. And then you come in here, Azusa77, right? Looks over here. It's not really a game, so it's fine to have fantasy elements. I don't really care if there's a black samurai. If you use historical people seeing the story changes. Unlike the battle, it's disgusting that he didn't look into things that could have been done, such as probably blah, 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 blah. The game is made to make it okay, have a bad image of black people, right? And here's another one. You go, with the historical falsified setting that Yasuke was a samurai. The attitude is that it's okay to make money even spend a human amount of money. Damn, I'm fucking Slytherin.
On a gold day, I had to do drugs or something. No.
On development and discriminate against Japanese people and falsify history. Ubisoft will Jesus, what's wrong with me? Ubisoft will forever be stigmatized as racist. And let's read one more because I don't know what the hell I was doing on that one. Please don't tarnish Japan's history and culture with false representations. We don't want a game that insults people like this. And this thing literally says user blah blah blah. This one says user blah blah blah. So literally off these two people, you can actually tell that people are botting with this, right?
You're a big fat phony!
And even if these were real people, the one thing you could tell them is, who says Yasuke is representing Japanese people? You know, this shit is called Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's not called Assassin's Creed Japan. And actually it's come out recently, and you know what? I think the devs understood what was going on with it, what would go on with this game, which is why I have a lot of hope for it. They say you can play most of the game as either Naoe or Yasuke, so it's very interchangeable. So you can go back and forth if you want, or you could just be majority of one person. And due to that fact, right, that pretty much negates the whole argument against Yasuke in the first place. Because if you don't like Yasuke, you don't have to play for him for the most part. You're probably gonna have to play with him to some degree because he's integral to the story. But again, here's the thing: Assassin's Creed isn't real, so why does Yasuke have to be a representation of Japanese samurai or whatever? And he was a samurai. Historically, he was a samurai, or he was in capacity a samurai. It's a historical fact, though, that with Nobunaga, they put him on retainer. It's not like they accepted him into the clan or anything, but they gave him status. You know, he had a sword. You think they just they finna just leave this dude out there without protection, without the ability to protect himself? No, bro. Like he was an African in Japan. Even if they didn't want him to be a samurai, there was a high chance people would kidnap him, use him as a scapegoat, use him as a slave, use him as a circus performer, anything, right? You can't have a person like that stay with you and not have the ability to defend themselves. Because little do people know, Japan was grisly back in those days. Grisly, utterly. Like, look at a lot of anime content from feudal era Japan. One thing you'll notice is there were a lot of people out there that got murdered in different places, and it was whatever. A lot of nobility, motherfuckers ain't like you. Take you to the torture chamber. Fucking cut your arms off. Who cares about your family? You know, you lived in a village and your rice paddies ain't grow this year, you might starve, bro. Like, Japan was not the easiest of places to live to. I know we got this big idea of Japan now where it's like a paradise and everything, and even now it's not paradise. But feudal era Japan, man, it was the Wild West, bro. So it's crazy to me. And look, it's like so many, and this is wild, over a video game character that you have the option to play as. It just kind of goes to show that I wouldn't say, I mean, maybe you can say in the video game community there is a problem with black people, but I don't necessarily think it's the community. More so, we have to look at this on a macro scale on how people view black people in general when it comes to entertainment. And I've said it in my video that is to come out, but basically the problem is that the entertainment industry is overloading a lot of their content, their horrible content, like the Acolyte, for example, like they're doing with Star Wars, but mainly the Acolyte and the Little Mermaid and all that other kind of stuff. They're overloading the content with black people to use as a scapegoat. Why? Because you people who may say you're on the right, you people who may say they're against the left, you people who say they're against Sweet Baby Inc., you people who are against DEI, you know, you say all these things, but when they throw black people in front of you in their games, in their media, you fall for the bait.
Don't touch them new niggas over there, leaving they nigga essence in the air.
It ends up making you disregard and hate black people. You know, like, I'm gonna just translate some of these things into English for you just to see, you know, just to, I don't even need to read it, just read it for yourselves and just like look at just like how crazy these people are talking. Like, remember, someday you will be punished for this foolishness. You know, it's like not even a real person. They all got the user in their name half the time, right? And this is not good for the industry whatsoever. But again, we know what the reason is. They want people to look at black people negatively to harvest that negative energy, because the more and more energy you harvest, right, eventually it's going to get to the point where people will protest. They'll go outside of these video game companies' studios. They'll throw rocks in the studios. They may end up harming somebody. Who knows? Somebody may even get killed over this stuff. People forget it was barely half a century plus where you could hang. Actually, black people still get hanged today, but you could get a black dude by his neck at a rope on a tree, and people would take pictures with you, like pictures with the guy. There are pictures people have of lynchings. You know, you got a whole crowd of people around one black dude who did nothing to them, any of them, and they're just happy about it. That's the kind of country we live in. And what these people don't understand is that they're bringing back that spirit. This game, it's a game, bro. It's a game about people literally fighting against the proletariat and the fake gods of the world. No, the gods of the world, because they made the humans, the Isu or whatever they're called. That has nothing to do with reality. So if you want to talk about representation, you know, the main characters you play in about 90% of the time, they're not even fully fucking human. They're half human. That's the kind of hypocrisy we're dealing with these kind of games, with these kind of people. You know, we got to really look at our community, and we've got to understand that there are people in power that want us divided. Because there used to be a time in the video game industry where people probably would have been like Yasuke, but then they would have looked up his history. You know, I'm saying this game came out about 2004. People would have looked up at Yasuke and be like, oh man, he was a samurai back in the day. Don't know too much information about him. Hell, make some shit up. You know, people don't play Onimusha and say to themselves, well, demons don't really exist, so that's not good representation of Japanese people. People don't play Sekiro and be like, there's the Japanese people don't go ninjas. You know, if they get their arm cut off, they don't have a bone magic arm thingy with a grappling hook on it. You know, even with Ghost of Tsushima, all that crazy shit, man, come on. That's not no real representation of real Japan, because it's still fictional. There's still a bunch of fictional fake stuff that you do in there. But I digress. So the conclusion and the main point I want to get to with this, right, is that I'm not telling you to love everybody, and I'm not telling you to respect everybody, because quite frankly, this country has done its job. The main purpose of this country is to make money by any means necessary, which means that no matter what happens to anyone, the people who control the money, they get their money and they're out. But the only way they can get their money with big crony corporatism is if we're all divided, hate each other, and we're hyper-consumerists. So the crazy thing is that due to the fact that people are mad that a black person is in this game, guess what? There are people that are going to buy this game to spite those people. So it's crazy, but making people mad is going to make this game money. Who knows? That could have possibly been deployed the whole time. I don't know. But I'm trying to tell you, if you feel like you're kind of upset that Yasuke is black in this game, but you still want the game, get the game. And you got two choices. You could play as Naoe for the most part and forget about Yasuke. But let me tell you this. If you just play as Yasuke, you'll come to realize that you're still just playing a video game character. That character's not black. That character is fucking pixelated. Its color is pixel. It's a pixeler. Oh, sorry, I said it with a hard ER. I mean, it's a pixela. That's all it is. Pixels, gigabytes, databytes. That's all Yasuke is. The nigga is actually dead, okay? This isn't what the nigga even looked like. Yeah, acting like that. This nigga probably didn't really have dreads, bro. He probably had a dirty afro, or he probably had, you know, matted locks. There's no way he had locks that damn beautiful out in the middle of Japan, and he was a slave, possibly, off a Portuguese ship, right? The whole thing is fantasy, and you gotta accept that as much. Don't get lost in the hype, because these corporations want to turn you into a slave in every aspect possible. It's really real out here. They want you a slave through school. They want you a slave through work. They want you a slave through consumerism. They want you a slave through hatred. They want you a slave through division. They want you a slave through politics. They want you a slave through your games. You have to just look at things for what they are and look at it like this. Is the game good? Does the game stay focused on what it's trying to be, which is a game in the Assassin's Creed franchise, right? Because the way this game looks and feels and the kind of scope it's going for, it could be top 5.
What did you say, nigga?
It may even shoot for the best Assassin's Creed game out there. In my opinion, Assassin's Creed 2, that's the top. Like most games that are sequels, but that's the top of the Assassin's Creed pyramid for me. But this could challenge it, who knows? But what does Yasuke have to really do with it? You control the character. If you don't even like the fact that Yasuke is black, control him. Hey, you will. You got the option. You don't, it's not real, man. I don't know, I'm just going around in circles, but it's just crazy to me that people really like are making these fake Japanese accounts, not fake Japanese accounts, fake accounts that speak in Japanese, and they're making, and some of them are using their own accounts to type something in Japanese, Google Translate, and put that shit there. That kind of hatred is just, what's the point of it? You know, I'm gonna end it off on this, because I just gotta go in on these freaking nut huggers, these freaking neck beards, man, these fedora, how do you do, madam, looking ass niggas. I mean, I gotta go in on these freaking cheese grating ass freaking can't even talk to Minnie Mouse looking ass niggas, man, because we got too many of these motherfuckers in the gaming industry.
Will women be attracted to you? Let's start by getting some sunlight in here. Okay, oh, sorry. Okay, we'll start.
And it's crazy because they'll listen to someone like the Critical Drinker say the message 2 times and think, yeah, I know the message and stuff. They'll listen to these Red Pill podcasts and all this shit like that. They type in this shit. They're not even typing it from their mama's basement. They typing this shit under the bridge on their little smartphone, barely plugged up to someone else's power receiver, and they gotta pay them a cigarette for every hour they use it. That's what the point they are in their life, man. I mean, just look at this. Just look at this. Let me read another one. If there were samurai who were so violent in the city, they would be nothing more than barbarians, and there's no way they'd be respected. I guess people are bowing because they don't want Yasuke to cut them down. What the fuck? What is this? What are you talking about? Barbarians? I mean, some samurai are just like that. They cut your ass in the street if they felt like you slighted them, and everyone will bow to them. One of the key abilities at AC games is the ability to blend in with the crowd, particularly being pursued. How on earth is the only black man in Japan going to blend in with a crowd made up entirely of Japanese people? It's a fucking video game. See, this is you really want to listen to these people? You think these people have a fair point, have a real point, just saying anything about a video game? It's like, because in the original Assassin's Creed, think about like Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood or whatever. Sometimes you get to change your outfit, right? You see Ezio, this dude is like 6'2", wearing a freaking hooded cape, and he's adorned with jewelry and all this. Because some of the the costume designs you can buy and purchase look really well. He's walking through a crowd of people that half the time are peasants, commoners, and stabbing a dude in the chest, and then he's just walking off. He looks so damn suspicious. You can't even see his face. Talking about Yasuke would be suspicious. Motherfucker, his gameplay is not even about stealth. I don't know what to say, but man, we don't be like these people, because if you end up like these people, you're not even gonna have a life. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, man, just don't be like these people. Play the game if you want to play the game. If you don't want to play the game, don't fucking play the game. Go play something else. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? You know, the biggest way to beat this DEI stuff is just to be like, I don't care about this game. I'm not gonna play it. And the company won't get your money, and they won't do it. Like Suicide Squad. Everyone tried to play that. Sweet Baby had their hands all over it. They act like they didn't. Nobody liked the game. Nobody's playing the game anymore. They're not gonna make a second one of that game. They're not gonna continue that game. You killed the game. Good. Keep killing these games. And if Assassin's Creed happens to be the one of the games you want to kill, shit, I don't care anyway. I've been playing Assassin's Creed in about 7 years at this point. I'm gonna go play something else. I'm gonna preferably play a game from people that people don't even know about, so I don't have to hear you guys complain about this stuff. Go get a life. Don't even get a girlfriend. Get a life. Get a gym membership. Do some push-ups. Don't beat off. Smell your shoe. I don't know. Anyways, see you guys later.